Coming right up, we shoot environmental portraits as Mother Nature graces us with an exquisite display of summer flowers. Come with us behind the scenes, unlock the secrets of these beautiful new images, and help yourself to a little bit of inspiration for your next outdoor photo shoot. It all happens right here at Premium Light Academy. Summertime, thunderstorms, and a little flower power magic hour. When Mother Nature sees fit to present us with a unique environment, we must step up to answer the call. But first, it's important to point out that Colorado is a high desert plateau, and rain showers are typically in short supply. As a result, local foliage is very opportunistic. One quick splash of precipitation and we see an explosion of leaves, blossoms, and colors. This rush of plumage appears rather spontaneously, and sadly, it tends to disappear just as quickly. This means that photographers also have to be opportunistic when it comes to shooting environmental portraits. And so, like a pride of lions to the watering hole, we pack our camera bags and make a mad dash for the outdoors. Howdy friends, welcome to Premium Light Academy. We are here at our very spontaneous location. I'm out riding bikes yesterday. I come across this beautiful wheat field, amazing lilac flowers everywhere, and I thought, oh, this is a perfect location for an outdoor portrait shoot. So, snap a quick video, send it over to Ashley, be like, hey, what do you think? What do we think?
I loved the location and I had less than 24 hours to prepare, so I thought this blue dress would go lovely with the lilacs. Went with a 70s sort of Sharon Tate makeup look and a natural curl in my hair. I wanted to make it seem a little more whimsical and fairy tale, so I added the jewelry and the headband, and I think it turned out really magical.
Yeah, this is gonna be really cool. We have a completely ridiculous location. There's a gigantic grocery store right behind us. But once we parse this down to the exact section that we shoot in, it's gonna look like a magical fairyland. I'm really excited to get started. We're gonna be shooting in direct sunlight, which is not entirely my favorite space. I'm gonna be a little bit outside of my comfort zone. That's okay, that's where the creative magic happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got some behind the scenes for me frantically getting ready. And yeah, I think this is realistic for content creators.
This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great shot. I can't wait to get started. Here we go.
Yes. Go team.
When it comes to shooting outdoor portraits, I've always found myself to be a little bit of a control freak. Success comes from extensive scouting, planning, and knowing when the light is going to be just perfect. This typically all comes down to stashing our subject into a nice shady area with beautiful soft light. I actually can't think of a better equation for success. Suffice it to say, however, when it comes to this impromptu flower session, pretty much all of that goes straight out the window.
Even when I prepare for days for a shoot, like I did for this one, I was prepping my wardrobe yesterday and I did makeup tests this morning and hair tests. I still feel unprepared sometimes, and even though I'm on time in the car driving, I still get a little nervous. I like to be early and prepared. But we found these lilac bushes that are perfectly in bloom, and there's a bunch of them in the way they're positioned. We might just be able to fake a field of flowers.
We've got this giant rock retaining wall behind us, and while it is impressive, the Great Wall of Costco, it is also a little bit distracting for basic portraiture. So what we're gonna try to do is dial in our angles so that we never see that wall, and in fact have this more beautiful angelic sort of vision of Ashley, using of course a telephoto lens, my all-time favorite. And we're gonna see what we can do. Here we go. For this photo session, we'll be breaking out the trusty 70 to 200 millimeter lens. As you can see, our location is filled with distracting background elements. We need to be able to isolate our model and create a shallow depth of field. And this lens allows us to control exactly what we want the viewer to see. All of this may have started with good intentions, but we quickly find ourselves well outside of our comfort zones. Shooting in broad sunlight is a very delicate game. Get it right, look like a hero. Get it wrong, and you may be questioning your future in the photography world. Here's the trouble with shooting portraits in broad sunlight. That giant burning orb in the sky is really strong. It it has a tendency to hammer out massive exposure burnouts on one side of the face, while simultaneously creating deep, menacing shadows on the other side of the face. This is why portrait photographers like to tuck our subjects neatly into the shade. The light is soft, skin becomes smooth, shadows disappear, and everything is very easy on the eyes. Unfortunately, when it comes to spontaneous flowers popping up, shade is not always an option. And this brings us back to our shoot, where we are completely exposed to broad sunlight. With the sun setting to the west, we see the beautiful light of magic hour beginning to take shape. This orange glow can lend a very ethereal quality to your image. But once again, we find ourselves plagued by the occasional sneaky shadow. From here, our photo session becomes a game of angles. When magic hour light falls on the side of Ashley's face, we get a nice even orange glow. However, when she turns ever so slightly, we start to see distracting shadows. Now, I think it's reasonable to assume that some viewers are probably not fazed by these shadows. Photographers will turn to the obvious solution of breaking out the diffusers and reflectors to balance the light. But in this case, we wanted to keep steering clear of our comfort zones and charge headlong into the uncharted waters of broad sunlight. Fortunately, with a little twist of luck, a few tiny clouds pass in front of our giant angry ball of hydrogen and subdue the light just enough for us to rattle off a few quick frames with a soft, stellar glow. It's amazing to see how drastically the color temperature changes from one image to the next. Here, a cloud passes in front of the sun, creating beautiful soft light with a much cooler temperature. Next, the cloud disappears, the sun comes in full swing, and we get dramatically warmer tones. This soft orange light is something I've actually spent my entire photography career avoiding, believe it or not, when it comes to portraits. But in the end, I think the results are actually quite beautiful, and it's easy to see why photographers love to create images at the end of the day when the sun is on the horizon, beaming out all that magic hour glow. When we move out of the technical territory and approach the shoot from a theoretical standpoint, a whole new list of questions arise. Which do we like better? Images where Ashley looks right into the camera, or images where she's not paying attention? At the risk of sounding completely crazy, I find myself liking the images where Ashley has her eyes completely closed to be my favorites. I'm not even sure I can provide a logical reason for this, other than that they feel a little bit more dreamy. Don't get me wrong, I certainly appreciate it when a model locks eyes with the lens and makes a personal connection with the viewer. However, in this case, when Ashley shifts her attention away from the camera, I feel like we're witnessing a very spiritual, candid moment. And these are the images which seem to be striking a stronger artistic chord. I'd actually love to know what you think, so be sure to leave a comment below and tell us which image is your favorite. As we wrap up our shoot for the day, it's kind of hard to believe that all this took place right next to a giant grocery store. People are literally stocking up for their summer cookouts while we shoot pictures. But that just goes to show, some of the best locations pop up where you least expect them. The landscaping designers did a fantastic job creating this little flower power playground for us. Our journey started off in search of a little bit of fantasy, and at the end of the day, I think we may have just found what we were looking for. As always, friends, thank you so much for joining us. I certainly hope you had fun on this little photo adventure, and more importantly, I hope you were able to take a little bit of inspiration from this lesson and apply it to your next outdoor portrait session. If you are interested in learning more, be sure to check out our website, premiumlightacademy.com. We have lots of amazing tutorials, and they're all designed to make you a better photographer. Some of them are free, some of them cost a little bit of money, but all of them are very good. And finally, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. We have a lot of cool new stuff coming up, and I don't want you to miss out. That's all for now. In the meantime, stay sharp, and we'll see you in the next lesson.